Yo guys, and welcome back to another Let's Talk football video. Now in today's video, I'm going to do a review of the January transfer window, and I'm going to go through all of the teams, and I'm going to give my opinion on how I think they did in the transfer window, and I think if I think they did a good job or a bad job. Now we're going to go from Arsenal all the way down to who's the last team? I think it's West Ham. So yeah, we're gonna go through the whole of the whole of the transfers with every single team in the Premier League. So starting off at Arsenal, we have the player that they brought in was LD. Now I don't really know much about this guy, but I know that he only costs them around £5 million to £7 million, I believe, and I don't think Arsenal again really had a very good transfer window. I don't think they needed to buy anyone in particular. Maybe another striker, but to be honest, I think they have a decent side, and I think they have a side that can win the league, especially this season. I think is their best chance in a long time to win the league. And maybe if they do win the league this season, then next transfer window will be a really important time for them to make some crucial signings, to maybe go on to try and achieve, Europe victory like the Champions League. Next, we have got Aston Villa, who probably did the poorest out of any team in the Premier League. They're the team most struggling in the Premier League, and they didn't sign a single player, and they let go of 7 players. So, letting go of 7 players and not bringing anyone in, especially when you're bottom of the table, it's not a good look for them, and I think they're really going to struggle, to be honest, and I can't see where they're going to get any inspiration to win from. Third, we've got Bournemouth, who I think had a pretty decent transfer window, actually. I was very impressed with the signings of Benik who for £10 million, and Iturbe from Roma on loan. I think Lewis Graban is for £7 million I think it's a bit of an overpayment, but I think he'll do a good job for them. So I think Bournemouth have done a good job. They've let go of Lee Tomlin's, Elliot Ward, and 2 other players who I've never really heard of. So I think they haven't really let go of any of their crucial players, and they've brought in good signings. So I think they've done a pretty decent job. Next, we move on to Chelsea, which is the team I support. They've brought in Alexandra Pato and that Matt Miazga. I don't really know how to pronounce his name, but I think they're interesting signings. I'm not sure how Pato's going to do. I think it could go either way. He could do really well, or he could do not good at all. And Chelsea have had a lot of experience with bad signing strikers. Shevchenko, Torres, and the latest one being Falcao. And I think we've let go of Ramirez for £25 million, which I think is I think we've got a lot of money for him. I think he's a good player, but you can't really turn down £25 million for him. I think that's a really good move, and a lot of money for us to get rid of him for. Crystal Palace is next, and they signed Adebayor, and that was the only signing they made. I think that's a decent signing. Of course, he's got a lot of Premier League experience. He knows how to score goals. He knows how to finish. Just hopefully for them, he does find some form. He hasn't played in a while, so hopefully he can perform for them. And I think that's a decent signing. Next, we're going to Everton. I'm looking at the players now that they signed. They signed 3 players. They signed Tashara George. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm not great at pronouncing names, but he's from Grasshoppers. I've never heard of him. I doubt he'll be any good. Matthew Foldes from Bury, never heard of him. And Niase from Lokomotiv Moscow for £11.5 million, which seems a lot of money for a guy I've never heard of. So, I've never heard of him. He could be good. I've never heard of Mahrez, since the start of this season, and you look at how he's performing. So, you know, I guess anyone can perform when they want to. They did sell Aidan McGeady on loan and Stephen Naismith, who I think were pretty decent players, but, you know, they've let them go, and, you know, can't really do much about that. Next, moving on to Leicester, who were obviously having a fantastic season this year. They've brought in Demai Gray from Birmingham, which I think is a very good signing. He's a young talent, a left midfielder, and he could add, you know, some exciting new attacks for them. You know, mix him with Vardy and Mahrez. You know, they're looking very decent going forward. Liverpool, they brought in Steven Corker on loan and Marco Grujic, I think that's pronounced. They bought him for £5.1 million. Never heard of him. I've heard of Corker, QPR defender. I don't know really why they've brought him in. Because I didn't think he was too great, especially for a team like Liverpool. But you never know, he might do a decent job for them. Next we move on to Manchester City, who they did one signing, who was Anthony Caceres, and that's about it. I mean, they didn't make any signings, and they don't really need to, really. I mean, with the team they've got, they should be able to win the league fairly comfortably, I think. Next we move on to Manchester United, who again made no signings, and they loaned out a lot of players, but I mean, again, like Manchester City, don't really need any new players. They've got a fantastic squad as it is, and you know, I think they should be able to do a lot better than they are doing right now. Next we move on to Newcastle United, who I think have probably done the best business in the league, maybe. I think so, anyway. They've got Henry Savet, who I've only seen a little bit of, and he seems pretty decent, I guess. John Joe Shelby, I think that's a fantastic signing, personally. You know, £12 million from Swansea. You know, I don't think it's going to win them the league or anything, but I think it's going to keep them up, along with Andros Townsend, from Tottenham, who I think will be a fantastic signing for them, and Seydou Doumbia, who I'm not sure if he's that good in real life, but I know he's good on FIFA. But you know, he could go either way. I don't really know. I haven't really seen too much of him in real life. Next we move on to Norwich City, who brought in Stephen Naismith, Tim Close, and Patrick Bamford, Invo Pinto. I've heard of Naismith, he's a very good player. Close, I know a little bit about. I know he's done okay for Wolfsburg the last few seasons. Patrick Bamford had a great season with Middlesbrough last season. Hopefully he can bring his form to Norwich. And that Invo Pinto, never really heard of him, so yeah. But I think they've done decent business. I mean, they've let go of a few good players like Graben, like Elliot Bennett, like Gary Hooper, who I know didn't perform for them, but he is a good player. But I think they should stay up, hopefully, for them. Next, move on to Southampton, who brought in Charlie Austin. I think that's a very good signing, to be honest. You know, I know a lot of teams were after him, but only Southampton got him, so well done to them, and yeah. Next, move on to Stoke, who brought in Imbula, a big money signing, £18 million. They made a lot of signings last transfer window, so didn't need to make too many. Sunderland didn't really have a great transfer window, didn't bring anyone major in. Swansea brought in Leroy Fer on loan, which I think could be a very good signing, and Alberto Poloski, who I've heard a lot about in the Italian league, and I've heard that he's doing pretty decently, so you never know, that could be a good signing. Tottenham didn't really make any signings, but I think they're doing well this season. I think they could be a surprise. I think they have a pretty decent chance at winning the league. Watford brought in Pantilimon, who I think is a good signing, Amrabat, who I know has been decent in the league of BBVA, and Mario Suarez, who I think is a pretty decent player as far as I'm aware. West Brom bought Sandro in from QPR on loan. I think that's a good signing. And Alex Pritchard on loan from Tottenham. So they've had a decent transfer window. I mean, they should stay up, I think. But, you know, hopefully for them, their signings can pay off. And last but not least, West Ham brought in Sam Byram from Leeds, which I think is a great signing. And they made a lot of signings in the last transfer window, like some of the other teams. Sorry, and I think they've got a strong squad. I think they'll stay up with ease. And I think it's a shame that they lost Mario Zarate. I think that's how you say his name. Because he was a good player, but you know. That's how it goes. But that wraps things up for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. I just thought I'd make a different sort of video on this channel. I think this isn't the sort of videos that are going to be coming on the channel, but I thought I'd give a little review on how I thought the clubs have done in the transfer window. As I said, I think Newcastle have probably made the best signings, even though I think Southampton with that Charlie Austin deal really have done themselves a lot of favours. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.